What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Scream 8 in this video here today. Now, this is just rumored. It's not officially been announced by anyone involved directly with the production. But Scream 8 is rumored to be in development, according to Daniel RPK, who has been on quite a run when it comes to the Scream news, has been getting confirmed in the trades recently. Let this be a reminder that if you are someone who believes Scream 7 should be the end of the series, do not show up to watch it in theaters. Now, Spyglass and Paramount haven't confirmed anything of the sort, like I've mentioned, but I have covered an article in the past where producers made it clear that they intended to milk this IP, so if something like this ends up being confirmed sooner rather than later, I wouldn't be shocked. If you don't like that, again, do not show up for 7 in theaters. I do think it's possible that an 8th film has been discussed alongside 7 after the success of Scream 6. Keep in mind, when they went into Scream 5, that wasn't even intended to start a trilogy. So I'm thinking maybe what they've done since what they unfortunately did with Melissa Barrera firing her when she didn't deserve it. I think going into Scream 7, they have mapped out something to try to lessen the chance of them experiencing a shakeup like this again in the future. So now they want a trilogy mapped out and some sort of template of a concept of a trilogy. And if 7 is successful, then we'll get mention of a Scream 8 officially. But I do think it's possible that 7 and 8 are being planned alongside each other. And I think an 8th film has actually been discussed. It wouldn't be too far-fetched. But 7 is the only project we've been told about just in case they want to pull the plug on a Scream 8 or a Scream 9. And as far as why they would milk this IP, for anyone who thinks Scream has run its course, you got to consider how much did they pay to obtain these rights back in 2019, because I think 2019 was when we got an announcement that Scream 5 was in development. Think of the Exorcist situation with Blumhouse. You can agree that Scream should end with 7. However, if you spent close to, let's just say hypothetically, they spent around $1 billion or somewhere around there to obtain the rights, you got to do more than what you've done with 5 and 6 to make your investment, because you're not even anywhere close to that. You have to keep making these movies or do some sort of new TV show, something along those lines to make your investment worthwhile. Again, just think about the situation that Universal is in with The Exorcist and the course direction they're taking now with the Mike Flanagan spin to make sure their investment is worthwhile. I did share rumored tidbits about a new trilogy in the past being planned with Scream 7, and I still stand by this mindset that if we are getting a new Sidney trilogy, you need to do what the Halloween trilogy failed to do. A series of movies that are told over a small time frame. They don't need to be years apart, decades apart, and stuff like that. It can be a narrative that's spanning a month, maybe 2 months, maybe a few weeks, but carried out over 3 movies. That's all. We don't have to have it in one night like Halloween. We don't have to do that. It's just at this stage, I think having year gaps and new threats popping up to say, hello, Sidney, is going to be completely far-fetched. What makes it far-fetched is the simple fact that it's always someone new. By the time we get done with this, I don't want to say some 20-something damn people had a problem with this girl and you all just constantly had to keep coming years later. At some point, as a viewer and as someone digesting it and trying to recognize you are still trying to have some sort of legitimacy to your narrative, it does start to chip away at that, because it becomes far-fetched that so many people had beef with her over that many years. What is going on with Sidney? She's innocent. She hasn't done anything. And at some point, I would hope she's done something, because that, again, will probably help lessen the fact that it's becoming far-fetched that you're telling me that 20-something damn people want to murder this woman. So, like I've expressed before, I would prefer leaving Sidney behind in Scream 7, leaving her daughter behind with her as well. Perhaps an accomplice to the killers in 7 gets away, they go off to college or something, and now we toy with Kevin's original idea for Scream 5. Killer versus killer, making them kill in order to keep that secret protected. It'd probably be best not to even announce Scream 6 right now, because then it could bring up the topic of stakes dwindling for those assuming 8 will include Sidney again with an announcement like that, which could result in them saying, I won't bother watching 7 in theaters because now I know Sidney's just going to live. So an official premature announcement could be a bad move. Do you guys think Scream has run its course, and do you think it should go on forever and ever? All I can think of is that one clip of Neve back in the day saying we don't want there to be a Scream 4, 5, 6, 7, or however many she ended up saying on the set of Scream 3. Because, man, have those words aged terribly. We're almost at the verge of 10 Scream movies. But with the new Sidney trilogy, I think the best route to go would be telling it in a small time frame. I think that would be ideal. We can even build to an ultimate reveal in Scream 9 that exposes the last 2 reveals were just fall guys for the real boss or something along those lines, and maybe taking a little Pretty Little Liars approach. Maybe the previous killers are honored to be a part of the demise of Sidney Prescott and are willing to get caught in the process to honor Mickey Altieri, a theory I've brought up before. Then their boss, our main Ghostface, is someone who absolutely despises Sidney. They used to look up to her. They were previously obsessed with her. They have loved her influence, and she's had such a big impact on their life, and thinks she just doesn't deserve to have the life that she's earned anymore because she continues to associate herself with people like Gail Weathers or those like her who exploit all of these tragedies, things like that. So she thought, or whoever it is, thought it'd be a good idea to now torment Sidney with the very thing she despises most, and that, of course, is a Ghostface spree. But it's a very elaborate, long game where they have people taking the fall and building up to their own reveal with Sidney. Now, these people can all be willing to get caught. They just all are willing to get caught. That could be another refreshing thing. They're not trying to get away with it. They all purposely want to get caught. The killer in 7 wants to get caught. The killer in 8 wants to get caught. The killer in 9 wants to get caught. But they also want to do it in the traditional way that they've seen it across the Stab franchise. They want to build up to a reveal where they can purposely give that monologue. And that way you can kind of bring in some commentary and make it a bit self-aware in the fact that they know that having those monologues kind of takes away from their plan to get away with it. But the difference here is they don't care because they actually don't want to get away with it. They want to be caught. They want to pay homage to Mickey Altieri, and they want to kill Sidney Prescott, and they want to be famous for doing so. It can be something as simple as that. But you guys, again, let me know what you think about a concept of Scream 8 in your head down in the comment section below. Does that sound like too many Scream movies? Does that sound like they are jumping the shark? Some of you think they jumped the shark when they greenlit Scream 4. And I can understand where you're coming from there, because it feels like my biggest gripe with the return of Sidney Prescott, and someone who loves the character so much, I have to be realistic with how she was presented during those first 3 movies. There's this overarching narrative that worked so well in those first 3, and now it's gone, and it's kind of just she's here and there's a different reason here, there, every other time. So having a narrative that's close in time frame over the span of 3 movies, I think will work out just well, or work out just fine, and it wouldn't bother me as much. But let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, and miss a video. In the description, I have links on my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.